Hello and welcome to my next video in my Astro Energy Update series, where today I am talking all about dun, 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 Mercury Retrograde. What is it? What's all the buzz about? Why is everything seeming so crazy? Why is it hard to think? Why is it hard to communicate? How do we get through it? I found that there's so much information out there right now about Mercury retrograde. It's becoming more and more popular. People want to blame all their problems on Mercury retrograde for many good reasons, and I want to share you my reflection on what is happening during this February 16th is when Mercury went into retrograde here in 2020, and that happens about 3 times a year for about 3 weeks at a time. We are in Mercury retrograde. So, what does it mean for a planet to go into retrograde? What does that mean? As a planet is making its revolution around the sun, going in its orbit, at some point it gets closer to Earth. And when that happens in the sky, it looks like the planet is moving backwards. And that's because it just is closer to us, so a perspective of it is a little bit wonky. And in the world of astrology, when a celestial body moves closer to us on Earth, we feel the energy of that planet much more strongly, much more intensely. So what's the energy of Mercury? Mercury is the god of communication. Anything and everything having to do with sending and receiving data, the transfer of information. And you may be thinking, well, everything has to do with communication. Everything has to do with sending and receiving data. And you're right, it totally does. In our own energy field, we are constantly inputting and outputting information. Even if we're not aware of it, we're constantly having this interaction with energetic data. In our physical world, as well as in the cosmic world and everything in between, we are having our own energy flow with energetic data. And that's why, 222, nice, that's why I love seeing repeating numbers. They're so awesome. But I'm going to stay focused. That's why Mercury retrograde has such a rap for being so difficult to get through, is because Mercury has a lot of command over a large part of what's happening in our lives. Communication is key to getting through life, especially right now in February, where in this month there is a lot of focus on relationships and communicating in our relationships, so that way we can understand what it is we want, what it is we desire. We're wanting harmony, we're wanting connection. We want to overcome these feelings of conflict that we have been having a lot in the world over the past few years. This energy of conflict is so high. And we're getting the sense that we want to work this conflict out. But when Mercury retrograde happens, that communication gets interrupted, everything kind of gets jammed up, and so that conflict can seem really more intense because our thoughts are jumbled, expressing what it is we're trying to say. I've been trying to make these videos, and I fancy myself a fabulous speaker, but I'm mixing my words up. I'm pronouncing them funny. Sometimes my train of thought will just go, and I'm like, what was I just thinking about? What? Where am I? What? And that's Mercury retrograde for you. And so that has to do, like I was saying, communication, sending and receiving data. When I was doing research for Mercury retrograde, I found an amazing series on Gaia.com, which is like the spiritual Netflix. Absolutely recommend Gaia. And on there, Gaia, Gaia.com, on there is an Astrology 101 series by Rick Levine. And Rick makes this amazing analogy to it being like a traffic jam. So if we think of our energy flow, this input and output of data kind of like traffic. And sometimes things are going great, sometimes there's little traffic jams, accidents happen, and eventually things get worked out. During a Mercury retrograde, everything is backed up. All lanes are backed up, bumper-to-bumper traffic, and that means bridges are going to be weighed down and even break apart. The tunnel systems are all backed up. So these systems of communication begin to fall apart and break down. And that can be really frustrating, especially with technology. Technology is all about the sending and receiving of data. And in our especially, technologically driven society, like, we rely on our technology so much. And during a Mercury retrograde, we'll see technology do things we didn't even know was possible. Like, I didn't know it was possible for, my computers to be doing this thing, or TVs, whatever it is. If your technology is going haywire, thanks, Mercury retrograde. That happens with this specific Mercury retrograde, according to Julie over at the Transparent Matrix. I'll put those resources in the descriptions of the video. And with this specific Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of feelings of doubt, a lot of questioning, which can be a really good thing. It can be really helpful to question and to kind of weed through things. But with this Mercury retrograde, these feelings of doubt can kind of weigh us down, especially with the already feeling the energy of limitations, which I talked more about that in my first energy update as well. There's a huge Saturn energy going on, and Saturn is all about the feelings of limitation. And so that, coupled with our feelings of doubt, it can be a really tricky Mercury retrograde. You can be questioning yourself, be questioning of others, be really critical of others, and that's okay. It will mean that things might just take a little bit longer, which can be beneficial, especially during Mercury retrograde, because there is this sense of urgency, this sense of like not having enough time, or the fear of missing out on an opportunity. Like, oh, I've got to take this chance or else I'll never have the opportunity again. Mercury retrograde can kind of bring out impulsive decisions, because when our mind is all jumbled and fuzzy, we skip the thinking process. We skip the feeling process and we go straight to the gut feeling, and we just make impulsive decisions. So, to circumvent, to kind of navigate our way through this Mercury retrograde, Rick suggests using, I thought this was really great, using this concept of R-E, putting R-E in front of everything that you're doing. Rethink what it is you're doing. Reword what it is you want to say. Re-listen to what it is you want to hear. There's a lot of assumptions that we can be making during Mercury retrograde. And that energy, that re-energy, can help us slow down, take the time, and really work through things, and allow these feelings of doubt and questioning to kind of help us process through stuff. And I'm experiencing that a lot right now. I might have an amazing job opportunity, which honestly seems too good to be true. And the whole time I'm like, this can't be right. I'm putting my skepticals on here. I'm like, all right, where's the scam? What's going on? Feeling lots and lots of doubt. But I did my research, and it might be an amazing opportunity. I don't want to rush into anything. I've got, my own doubts, my own feelings of, oh, I don't know. But I'm trying to be aware through all of that. And as with anything, with this astrological effects, awareness is the key to getting through it. Knowing that you yourself and the people around you might have a hard time communicating, might have lots of doubts, might be really questioning you. If you yourself are, getting bombarded with doubts and questions from others, don't necessarily take it personally. It might not mean that you're doing something wrong. It might just mean that other people want to check and take the time. So that way we aren't just bursting into new opportunities and feeling like, oh, I need to do this right now. And we can take the time to kind of weed things out. Mercury is a great time to kind of cleanse stuff. When everything is feeling so jammed, we want to solve the problem by decluttering. Whether that's the emotional or physical or mental decluttering, spiritual decluttering, whatever that looks like, we kind of just want to get things out. And that can be really helpful as we are using this doubting, this questioning energy, weeding through what is working, what's not working. I will caution you to make sure you're taking the time to weed through, and that it's not just an impulse, let's get everything out, because you might clear out something that was meant to stay if you didn't take the time to really process through and think through all of that. So I'm pretty sure that's everything I wanted to share with you about this Mercury retrograde. As with anything in the cosmos, everything is super personalized. There's always more information to know, and so Please ask questions. Please make comments. What are you experiencing right now during Mercury retrograde? I personally am kind of blown away by this potentially amazing job opportunity that I am skeptical of, but also am like, wow, this would be really, really amazing. So that's something that's happening to me, and I'm already, sensing my communication here and there, it's getting jumbled. So that's my own personal experiences. I would love to hear from you guys what you have been experiencing and continuing to communicate. We're just in day one, and so sometimes commiseration, if we just have a place to complain and go, oh my gosh, you guys. And there might be some successes too, some success stories of how y'all are getting through this crazy Mercury retrograde. So, thank you so much for tuning in to this Astro Energy update. As always, I'm so open to feedback and comments, anything like that. I really do this to help everyone. So, anything I can do to help, anything you really love that you want me to keep doing, anything that you're like, oh, I'm not sure about, let me know. That's what it is all here for. I feel like I should be talking some more. Maybe it's because I'm not used to such short videos. Oh my gosh, it's only 11 minutes. Okay, thank you so much. May you traverse this current energy shift with patience. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. Do your best to not assume. Take the time to rethink, reword, and move through life as best you can. With all my love, peace.